Hi, I'm Anastasia. I'm the dog tooth fairy, and I'm just doing a Q&A with some of my followers and some of my clients, just to like a bit of a forum really, so that you can all ask questions that you want to ask about Emmi-Pet. So anything that you need to ask, whether you're a dog owner or a dog groomer or a pet professional, if you're new to Emmipet, if you're old to Emmipet, or if you're just thinking about getting involved with Emmipet. So this is your forum to ask whatever you want to ask me, and I'll try my best to answer as best I can. So if anyone wants to go first, you can just fire a question.
Hi, I'll go first.
Hello.
Hello. I was just wondering how many uses you can get out of one toothbrush head. I'm a dog groomer, so I would like to tell my customers how many they can expect before they have to buy a new one.
Right. I would say until the toothbrush until all the bristles have splayed. So in my salon, I would just keep inspecting the toothbrush. So every time I go to use it, I would just inspect those bristles, make sure that they're nice and straight and that the dog hasn't nibbled them. Because if the dog nibbles and chews them in the splay, because those bristles carry the ultrasound waves through them, you find that if they've been damaged, your toothbrush will flash red to indicate that there's a fault with your brush head and then it needs replaced. But because the ultrasound waves sterilize the bristles as they work, so it keeps it really clean and hygienic, you don't really, and because the dog is having such, short, frequent sessions, but you're not really like manually going like this from side to side, you're just holding the toothbrush against the dog's tooth. It's quite surprising how long that the brush heads would last for.
Okay, that's great.
So I don't think that there's a real answer to that question, but in my salon, unless the dog was a real toothbrush nibbler, and if the dog was, then the client would have to buy a new brush head, but it's just a case of inspecting them. But
if you just got like a couple of strands that are frayed, will that still work?
Yeah, so as long as there's just a couple of strands that are splayed and you're putting it onto your Emmipet toothbrush and it's not flashing red to indicate that there's a fault, then that's absolutely fine. My dog's brush head at the moment is a little bit, there's a few little straggly bits that have splayed, but it's nothing major and it still works.
Okay, great, thank you.
Just getting my props out and seeing if I've got my Emmipet toothbrush here. Yes, I have got one there. Yeah, so all of your toothbrush heads, you've got two sizes, small and large. And your small ones are for like your Chihuahuas, your miniature Daxies, and all of your small breeds, your pugs, your Shih Tzus. And then you've got a larger size, which is more for your medium breeds to your larger breeds. And all of your toothbrushes come with a hygiene cap. So if you always run the toothbrush under the tap and just clean off any toothpaste debris and then put the hygiene cap back on, that again is another good way to prevent the bristles from being damaged, because it just gives them that extra protection. Does that answer that question?
Oh yeah, that's great, thank you.
Brilliant.
I have a question. What about, is there any adverse effects to the nerves within the teeth and the gums? I know it's a very gentle process, but is there anything else that we should know about that happens with under the skin?
I haven't come across anything that happens like that. I know that the ultrasound heals as it works, so it's really healing for any gum issues and things like that. And I've seen it with my own eyes where it can like heal the gums, and there can be where the gum has redness and soreness, and a couple of Emmipet sessions and it starts to return back to its healthy salmon pink color. I haven't found that it has any dangers or any healing properties, but if in doubt, and if a dog's teeth and gums look really bad, then I would always refer the client and tell them to go to the vets to get some veterinary advice, because Emmipet should never replace veterinary dentals for the dogs that need veterinary dental work.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, someone's dropped something in the chat. I'll just see. Any tips on taking pictures from Sarah? It can be really difficult when you are taking pictures by yourself, especially if the dogs are quite lively, because you've got a camera, you've got like only one hand to do it. One of my friends who's became an Emmipet distributor in my team, called Amy Welsh, she's in my Facebook group. So if you have a look at my Facebook group, Emmipet Made Simple with the Dog Tooth Fairy, and Amy Welsh is the queen of taking really good photographs, and she manages to stretch the dogs like lips right back so that you can see the molars and everything. She sort of does it really well with her hands. So Amy is a real expert on that. And if you go into my Facebook groups, I've tagged Amy in pictures where she's showing how to do the dog's teeth and things. But it's just a case of having a really steady hand, a good camera, like a good quality camera that can take close-up pictures. And yeah, just a lot of patience, I think. Oh, Ange is here. Yay, I didn't see Ange.
Sorry,
So,
I'm late.
hi. So Ange Rollinson, some of you will know her already, but Ange is my Emmipet upline and mentor and Emmipet guru. Ange is the UK's #1 Emmipet distributor, so she's here to be the second expert, the second brain. So two brains are better than one. So Ange can help me to answer questions as well. Hi, Ange.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good, because I can't. Oh, yeah, I've just seen a question as well. I think I can see questions.
All right.
Not quite. I'll just butt in.
Can you see what Lisa's put? She's poorly with no voice. So can we give advice on how much to charge each client and how often should the teeth be cleaned? I would say pricing is completely individual to the person offering the service. So you'll all have your own business overheads, you'll have your staff bills to cover. Some of you will work from home, some of you will work from a salon. You all have your different overheads, you have your different geographic areas. Some of you will live in rural areas, affluent areas. You can price at what you feel comfortable with pricing, and it is as unique as a dog grooming price. So there's no like right or wrong answer. I price myself at about £40, £40 to £45 for intro session, and about £25 for follow-up sessions, but everybody's different. And I do know some people that will charge like £80 for an Emmipet intro, so it can be that different. But in this economic climate, with all the bills going up and everything, you've got to cover your overheads and your running costs. So I definitely, your intro sessions, I wouldn't be charging them any less than 40. I would always be going 40 and upwards. Does that answer that question? Or Lisa, how often do the teeth need to be cleaned? Ange can help me with this one. I would say if at the beginning, if the dog's got a bit of tartar build-up and you're wanting to see some really good results, you need to be brushing that dog's teeth quite intensively, and you need to be seeing that dog a few times a week if you can. Then once the dog's teeth are nice and clean and healthy and the gums are nice and pink looking, when you've got teeth, I'll get my little dental model out. When you've got teeth that look like this, then your dog can slip on to just come in for regular upkeep and maintenance. And the upkeep and maintenance you can do every 4 to 6 weeks-ish, would you say, Ange?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I say that you need, if it's your own dog, every day, first until they're nice and clean. If it's a customer's dog, if they get in three or 4 times a week, they definitely need to come in at least once a week, because if you don't, whatever you've done, by the time they get back over a week later, it would have just built back up.
Yeah, I find that if some clients say, oh, I can only come every like 6 weeks when I bring the dog in for a groom, if it's in the early stages where you're really trying to make an impact on the dog's teeth and really see some results, it's a real waste of time, effort and money for the client. So they need to be intensive at the start part, and then they can slip on to the maintenance sessions once the teeth look like this.
Yeah.
If you're
came
just
off today.
starting,
I was washing up.
Sorry, Olivia.
that's okay. If you're just starting out with your own dog and you want to do it just for like maintenance, I mean, I've been brushing his teeth just with like a dog tooth finger brush and like dog toothpaste, but I just feel like I want something a bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, his teeth are in really good condition, but how, like, to maintain like healthy teeth and gums, how often and like how long per tooth? Because that's a bit contradictory. Like sometimes people say like 10 seconds, some people say like up to a minute, but yeah.
I would say aim to work towards about 2 minutes per like dental area. So when you put the toothbrush over your dog's teeth, sometimes it covers more than one tooth. So that would be a dental area. So you just hold it against the dog's teeth with paste and water and aim to hold it for up to 2 minutes. But when you're just starting out, you might only manage like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, but just do what you can and what the dog's comfortable with. But it's definitely right what you're doing to start with your dog now while your dog's so young, 1.5 years. And this will work better than any of the other, finger toothbrushes and things, like you say, because the ultrasound waves penetrate down into the gum line. So they're going to penetrate down 12 millimeters, which is about that deep. And the ultrasound waves will pull out all of the bacteria and the impurities and everything, and it'll just cleanse the gums from the inside. So it's a lot deeper clean and cleanse than your ordinary toothbrush, which just goes over the surface.
Would it also help to keep their teeth white, or is that something that changes with age?
I think if you've got a nice dental enamel whiteness there and you've got a young dog, and if you're doing this Emmipet with your dog every week, I would see no reason why the teeth would get stained, because you're keeping up with that maintenance and upkeep. Would you agree with that, Ange?
Yes, I was just going to say, Sassy's 5 now, my youngest. Well, actually, she's my only one now. I've lost the other. But her teeth are still like brand new because I've been using it once a week. Sometimes I forget, but usually once a week. But to be honest, I only tend to hold it on for about 30 seconds per tooth because I've been doing it since she was a baby and I've kept them nice. But, obviously all dogs are different and it depends on their diet and how their plaque builds up on their teeth as to how long you need to hold on. So 2 minutes might be needed, but it might only be 30 seconds. I can get her if you want to show you, but it probably wouldn't show that well for you.
Yeah, I think that as well. Like once you're slipping onto maintenance sessions and your dog's teeth look like this, you probably find that you need less time and time to work on the teeth. So my Winnie, my Daxie, I was doing a teeth clean on her the other day and she was being a bit fussy, moving her head from side to side. So I wasn't fixating thinking I must keep the toothbrush on Winnie for 2 minutes because her teeth are quite all right at the minute. So if I can manage 30 seconds,
yeah,
fine.
Like, to be honest, Sassy's teeth at the minute I haven't done for about a month, which is really naughty. And she has got a little bit of tartar, or not tartar, but a little bit of plaque, which is going to turn to tartar if I don't get and do them soon.
It can build up really rapidly on the Daxies, because Winnie is 6 now. And if I don't bother with her teeth for a few weeks and I've missed like brushing them, she's getting all the plaque build up.
Yeah, same. She's just been in season, so I just didn't want to do it while she was in season.
Yeah,
but yeah, she'll probably need 2 minutes per tooth.
Yeah,
but I do like 4 lots of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Does the tooth need scraping along with that?
Not normally, not with your young dog, because you haven't got that tartar build up. You won't need to. It should come off quite easy. You might need to get your fingernail and give it a little rub, but not normally.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just give them something to chew on afterwards as well, if there's a bit there.
I definitely think if you're starting out right with your 1.5-year-old dog, then and your dog being a Bolognese as well, small breeds are more prone to getting dental health issues. So because you're starting now, that's really, really good. And like Ange said, you're probably not going to need to use any of the tartar erasers or anything because you haven't got any build up there. And so long as you do your dog's teeth once a week with the toothbrush, you're probably hopefully never going to get any like plaque or tartar build up.
Does it help to keep their breath fresh as well?
Yeah, like
So
a million percent, yes.
I was going to say that's the first thing you notice because it's killing the bacteria which causes bad breath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was the first thing when I was doing Emmipet in my salon to my clients after the dog had maybe had like 2 sessions. The client was like, oh my God, the breath is so much better, thank you. And that was like one of the first things that they would notice.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So when I've done Mia's teeth, I've seen like other people when, you know, on your site, when they've done the clean the day before and the dog comes up with sparkling clean teeth from, and I'm thinking, well, I must be doing it wrong because I've got there and it's a lot of persistence.
Yeah.
But there's no way that I could have got Mia from that one day to that the next. And then you think, well, am I doing this wrong? But I've gone by everybody, your advice and Angela's advice. You just feel like you're not doing it right.
Yeah, and I would say that every dog's different and the dental enamel and the composition of the dental enamel is different from one dog to the next. And then you've got dog's age, dog's diet, how long the tartar has been there for. So all these like variable factors come into play. So like I would have, you know, X number of dogs on my books for Emmipet at my salon. And some dogs, the tartar would come away really easily in session 1. Some dogs took 10 sessions or more. So it really is individual to each dog. So yeah.
Also, I've never got to the point where I can just flick it off.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I can use is the Emmi-Dent, you know, that little ball. If I use that along with using the toothbrush, I do get there in the end, but I just feel like I'm missing out that moment when a great big lump comes off and you go, yes, I haven't got there yet.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it can take a long time for like tartar to start to shrink away from the gum line, and then you see like a little gap of enamel where you can get in with your wooden rosewood stick and it'll ping off. But sometimes it takes the tartar quite a long time to shift, and you could do loads and loads of sessions and then all of a sudden it'll all just start coming away at once. Okay. So it can vary.
I mean, I'm quite happy that I've got to the point that I am now, and it is just maintenance, just keep on with it every day.
Yeah,
she's absolutely fine with it, but I just felt that, you know, when you see other people doing it, and you think, why can't I do it like that? Why have I had to put in so many hours? Because I have. But I've persisted and we've got there.
Oh, that's good. And are you just using it on your own dog, or is it for dogs in a salon as well, Lillian?
Yeah, no, it's just for my own dog.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to put her through having to go to a vet's because she absolutely hates the vet.
Yeah.
I thought if I can do whatever I can to stop her from having to go, then it's a small price to pay, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think I mean, yeah, I'm kind of, my dogs are my babies, and I think no anesthetic comes without its risks. And I know people could say anesthetics are safe and all whatnot, but every time my pets have had to go under for anything, I'm like really anxious waiting for the phone call off the vet to say they've come around, come and pick them up, and I'm like, oh, and I get really like worried about them. So I think if that can be avoided and you can do something to prevent that, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm happy with where I've got to, but yeah.
Can I just say, I think sometimes the pictures that you see on Facebook where they've done that in one session, even though we keep telling groomers don't use a metal descaler tool, do. So they'll use the Emmipet and then they'll get one of their metal descalers and flick it off, and they shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
And you know, we tell them not to, but it's not up to us.
Okay.
So that could be another reason, but that's not the only reason, because sometimes you will get a dog and you just do like, I don't know, I've had a dog come and stay with me and I've done like 2 lots of 30 seconds on her canine. She had like that dark brown starting on her canine, literally 2 lots of 30 seconds, got my thumbnail, went like that and just pinged it straight off. So it does depend.
Okay.
Just to say.
Yeah. Well, I hope I don't need to get
really good.
And I think sometimes as well, a thicker, heavier tartar, it can go one way or the other. Because sometimes it's so thick and layered that it is just absolutely ready to come away, because it's almost like trying to voluntarily move away from the tooth because it's so thick. But then other times it can almost be like concreted on, so you can have a real struggle with thick tartar, or sometimes it'll come off really easy. So it can go one of 2 ways.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
I have a question. So I'm a mobile dog groomer. I've been using Emmipet since January, and some dogs I'm having amazing results. Like the first 1, 2, 3 sessions have been brilliant. But like you were just saying just then, some of the tartar, especially on the back teeth, is just so thick. It's really not budging at all. And I was reading that some groomers have an Emmi-Pet that they rent out to clients.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that, because obviously we've done online training and stuff to know how to use it properly. I'm just wondering, if I was to get a second set and to hire it out, say for like 3-4 weeks at a time, what would you suggest to say to these clients on how to use it, like how often and what sort of results to expect if they were to do it daily or every other day?
So you could even have, like, if the dog had really thick, heavy tartar, you could rent out a unit to them and give them some like really basic training on how to use it, or just have like a little laminated sheet of like how to use it. They would obviously need some toothpaste and things like that. You could get them to do all the work at home to soften all the tartar and get it ready to come away. And you could still book that client to come in to you to have like the rosewood stick session with yourself after 3 weeks. Because if the client didn't feel comfortable or confident doing that with their own dog at home, then you could see that dog when it was ready and when the Emmipet had helped to soften that and make it easier to come away.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's a great idea, because I moved from the Emmipet 1st generation toothbrush and I upgraded to the 2nd generation toothbrush. And I was literally going to set up a contract hire agreement, and I was going to hire the toothbrush out to clients, not to cut my nose off to spite my face, but the types of clients that had multi-dog households, or they had a pack of dogs and they didn't want to pay for them all to have Emmipet, they could hire the toothbrush instead. And then that was another way of that toothbrush making money for me. But I never got round to it, but it was in the pipeline. It was one of my ideas that I was going to do. So I think it is a fab idea.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I'm mobile, so it's not very easy for me to get to people's houses once a week, because I cover quite a large area as well. But everyone seems pretty pleased with the results, and with the front teeth I'm having a much better result quicker. I just think if someone was to hire the unit out, say for 3 or 4 weeks at a time, and treat those back ones, I think they would be maybe happier with the outcome, rather than me going sort of every month and not really making a much of a difference. I know obviously the more often it's done, the better it is, but as mobile groomer I can't get there as often as I'd like.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that is a really good idea. I'll make sure that it's clients that you really know and trust, and make sure that they pay like a decent deposit, so that if the handset was broken or it got lost or stolen or anything like that, then it's going to cover your costs.
Yeah, I think I'd only do it to clients that I've already sort of done treatments for. I don't think I'd do it as as just a one-off type thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Do you use the Orozyme gel at all?
I haven't used it, no.
All right, because there's the Orozyme gel that me and Ange sell as well, and that is really good for, got a tube of it there.
Yeah.
So you can get the Orozyme gel and you can sell that to your clients. And what I used to do was say to my clients, if you take a tube of this gel home, if you've got a dog with like any heavy tartar or plaque buildup, and we're wanting to speed it up so that you need less Emmipet sessions, I would just sell them a tube of this and tell them to take it home with them. And after the dog's had its last meal of the day, just put it on the finger, apply it to the dog's teeth on the affected areas. And it's like an enzymatic, I can never say this, enzymatic toothpaste. It's like a veterinary gel, and it's a mild abrasive. So if you put it in between your fingers and go like that, it feels like little bits, it feels quite gritty. And that's really good for like helping the plaque and tartar to break down as well.
Okay, thank you.
Has anybody else got any other questions? I'm sure there should be loads of questions.
Is there an act to cleaning inside that, you know, it's easy to clean the outside of their teeth, but the inside, I haven't got that far yet. I've done the outside, I've been concentrating on those, but when you go inside inside their mouth, not
yeah. I think Ange might back me up on this, but the ultrasound waves penetrate beneath, like through all of the crevices and everything, so they should get to the underside so that you're not having to go to the underside with the toothbrush, because that's quite awkward to get to and it's quite tickly for the dog as well. So the ultrasound waves should get everywhere so that you don't have to do the underside. Am I right in saying that, Ange?
Yeah, I do agree. Occasionally though, I've had customers that that's the wrong word, say that their dogs have got some tartar on the inside, sometimes like bigger dogs. So I just say to them, just like get the dog to hold a ball in their mouth. Yeah. Hold like a tennis ball or something, depends on the breed, but if they can hold a ball or a toy or something, and then if you needed to get on the inside, you'd be able to get in there with your brush that way. But I don't think it's very often that you would need to do that either.
And if there was a particular staining on the underside of the teeth and you didn't want to go in with your Emmipet toothbrush, that could be, again, putting some Orozyme gel on your finger just to go around.
Because it could just stain in rather than tartar.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I'll try that.
Okay.
With that Orozyme gel, how long does that sort of take to break it all down?
I've never really I've never like measured it, if that makes sense. I would just know that I would send my clients home with it. So if, say, a dog came and it had quite thick, heavy plaque and tartar buildup, and I would do the first Emmipet session, then I would sell them a tube of this, and then I would say, I'll see your dog in a week's time. Keep putting the Orozyme gel on that affected area. The next time that I would do the dog's teeth, the tartar would sometimes come away really easily because this has been working to soften and prepare the teeth and break it all down. Okay. It's really good for in between maintenance visits as well. Like if you've got a client that lives further afield and they maybe can't come to you every 4 to 6 weeks, and they say, well, I'm going to come in 2 months' time or whatever, you could just tell them to take some of this and just put it on the dog's teeth once a week, just to make sure that everything's keeping cleaned and fresh.
And does that sort of help to prevent the build-up as well, or is that just to break down the thicker tartar?
It helps to break down, but I think it would help to prevent like any build-ups as well. It's just clients need to get into a good home dental care routine, and a lot of clients come to pet professionals for Emmipet because they don't like putting a toothbrush in the dog's mouth. So that's why the gel's really good, because it's easy. I tell clients to put it near somewhere where they won't forget. So if they're doing the dog's last meal of the day, they could put it in the dog feed cupboard next to the feed bowl so that they don't forget. Because it's that thing, you need to, prevention's better than cure. So you really need to get into like good home dental care routines as well as in the salon. If you're doing it professionally, you want your clients at home to be doing things at home as well, because otherwise they're never going to learn. And yeah, You need to keep,
Yeah, it's just
you need
there's
to
no
keep,
point in doing the same routine over and over again. You know, once it's built up, they then come in, and you know, it needs to be
yeah,
maintenance, like you say, rather than just constantly cleaning.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Everybody's gone quiet. I actually can't think of any questions because my head's gone a bit blank.
Oh, did you sorry, you did say about how long does it hold charge, and I didn't message you back.
All right, yeah, we could talk about charging because a lot of people ask questions about charging the device.
Okay. Do you want me to say that then?
Yeah, go on.
So when you first get your device, you need to put a brush head on it and put it on the charging station, and it have a blue light on, and once that blue light goes out, it means it's fully charged. It says in the brochure that you get with the Emmipet that it takes about 24 hours, but it has been known to take up to 60 hours for the blue light to go out. So I don't know why, but they are all different, and I do tend to try and encourage people to wait until that blue light's gone out before they have a go. Or if you're that excited that you can't wait, just take it off, have a little go after 48 hours, I would say. Have a little go and then put it straight back on the charger with the brush head on, so that it can continue to charge until that blue light's gone out. And then when you're using the Emmipet, the battery life on it is 100 minutes. So if you're never going to use 100 minutes in one go, but say if you were mobile, like I'm sorry, I don't know your name that was on here earlier, you know that you've got 100 minutes worth before you need to get it back on the charger when you get home. But I do also say to people, it's best if you keep it on the charger with a brush head on all the time, because it just trickle feeds the electric in, and then you know that it's charged up, ready to go when you want it.
And it's really important to charge it with the brush head on, isn't it, Angela?
Yeah, definitely. It won't charge without the brush head. Oh, the other thing I get a lot, sorry.
No, it's all right.
If it starts flashing red, that means you need a new brush head because the contacts could have worn out, or it could be on the odd occasion you get a brush head with 40 contacts and everyone's messaging on Facebook, putting all these things up, oh, you know, why is it flashing? And it just means that the contacts aren't working properly. So just try another brush head and that normally solves the problem.
And the brush heads, they cost about, you know, about £5. They're not massively expensive. So that's one of the beauties of the Emmipet, is that you can easily replace these brush heads if a dog bites them or they get damaged. So that's one of the really good design features. And your piezo chip is in there, which is a really functional, fundamental part of the working of the Emmipet. But if that gets damaged, because there's a piezo chip in every brush head, you can just replace it, and it only costs like £5 for a new brush head. So yeah, that's one of the good parts of the Emmipet.
Does the red light come on as well when it's running out of charge?
Yeah. So it'll flash red if it's running out of charge. And if it flashes red, you put it on the docker, but it still continues to flash red, then the next thing that I would look at is your brush head, because there could be some damage, like Angela said, to these little points here. Or there could be damage on the brush head bristles if you've had an over-ambitious dog that's been chewing all the bristles, because these bristles act as little antennas, and they take the ultrasonic waves through them. There's some little cables in here. So if those bristles get damaged, like I said before, it will flash red on there, because it's quite an intelligent toothbrush and it likes to let you know if your brush head's broken. And I would just say, like, I've used this in my salon probably for about 4 years, and just some of the results that I've seen on the clients have been amazing. You know, some really elderly dogs that have got some really quite bad teeth, they might take a few extra sessions to get the results in, but if you're patient and diligent and you're not in a panic to get results in the first session and thinking, oh, this isn't working because, you know, I've done 2 sessions or 3 sessions and I've not got the results in yet. Sometimes you need to play the long game, and you just need to be patient, because patience and diligence, you know, will pay off eventually. And it's brilliant for dogs that are elderly or dogs that have any health issues where, you know, you're not wanting the dogs to go under anaesthetic. It's really brilliant, and because it doesn't vibrate or make a noise, it's really good for nervous dogs. So yeah, the only way you know it's working, the green light's on, so you shouldn't be expecting to hear a noise. You won't see any vibration. A lot of people think that they're going to see the microscopic nano bubbles or foam. You shouldn't be able to see the nano bubbles because they're microscopic. So the only way that you know it's working, the green light's on there, and that just indicates it's working. But when I sell these toothbrushes, it says in our instructions, you know, it doesn't vibrate, doesn't make a noise. And even when I deliver my training courses and say it doesn't vibrate, doesn't make a noise, I still sell a toothbrush to people, and they get in a real panic when they put it on and it's not doing anything. They're like, is it working? I'm like, yes. So
yeah, I get a lot of messages, but it's not working. And it's that.
yeah.
Oh, they can't see the nano bubbles. I can't see the bubbles. And then someone will say in the group, mine's got bubbles. So the thing is, sometimes you do see bubbles, but they are just a mixture of the toothpaste and the dog's saliva. And sometimes it bubbles. And other dogs, mixture of their toothpaste and their saliva, it doesn't bubble. But the nano bubbles are completely microscopic and you won't see them. And if you put the toothbrush in a glass of water and look for bubbles, you won't see bubbles either, because that's another myth. And another myth, just go through the myths, is hold it by a DAB radio and the frequency or the radio will do something. That's another myth. So the only way you know it's on and working is the green light, or try it on your own teeth.
Yeah. Oh, and I did try mine on my own teeth when I first got it. I used like a different brush head, obviously, but I just wanted to experience what the dogs were experiencing and just to actually feel what it felt like. And the Emmipet toothpaste is bubblegum flavor, so it's quite nice anyway. And I just tried it on my own teeth, and it did feel really, really nice and fresh. So I do know that it works because I've used it myself.
Yeah. Are you quite happy with it?
Yeah. How do I adjust my mirrors?
On the knob on that
I don't know
side.
whose house that is. I don't know whose.
Oh, I see, right.
I might just try and mute some people.
You would adjust the front, the middle one.
Can't find the culprit.
No.
Let's see. I think it was Mary. I've muted Mary and it's gone quiet. Right, I'm just looking at the time, and we've been talking for about 45 minutes now. So unless anybody has any really, really burning questions, I think that that's maybe long enough for me and Ange to be talking about Emmipet. If there's anything that we haven't answered in this Q&A session, we both have our own Facebook groups where you can drop in to get support. So mine is called Emmipet Made Simple with the Dogtooth Fairy. Emmipet Made Simple with the Dogtooth Fairy. And Ange, yours is?
I knew you was going to ask me that.
It's Emmipet.
Team Passion at the end.
Emmipet Team Passion.
What is it? Emmipet Advice and Help, Team Passion, maybe?
Something like that. I'd maybe have a look.
Sorry.
Can I just ask a quick question about stock?
Yeah.
Because I've seen Anastasia, you've got loads of stock because you've put a picture of it a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to order it from Germany through the link that on the site, or do you have the stock at home?
I have the stock at home, so I would say if you want little bits and pieces, like if you need like a brush head a brush head or something like that. It's not really cost effective to be having it shipped from Germany because it costs about £12 postage. So I keep stock in the UK, but if you want like bigger items and you want kits and things, you can go through either mine or Angela's web shop, and we can give you links for those, and then that comes directly from Germany. So yeah, there's different ways, but I would say if you just need little bits and pieces, then I hold stock in the UK, and I can usually get it out in a couple of days.
Okay, I want one of those Emmi-Dent things. That's it. That's all I need. So yeah, I'll contact you. Yeah,
cool. I've just had 2 deliveries from Germany today, so I'm excited. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. But if you need any help or anything afterwards, you can just drop into mine or Angela's social media. Did you find the name of your group, Ange?
Oh, sorry, I didn't look.
Oh, but Angela's Diamond Dax on Facebook anyway, so that's your page, isn't it?
Oh yeah, my Facebook page is Ultrasonic Doggy Dentals by Diamond Dax.
They can find you on your page, can't they? And message you on your page.
Yeah, if they go onto my page, they'll find my group. I've got a support group, and you can ask to join that.
Yeah,
like one. Sorry, so I just was busy and then saw the time I rushed in bed.
So it's Angie's Diamond Dax, and I am the Dog's Tooth Fairy. So you can ask either of us if you need any help with anything. So thanks everybody for tuning in. You've been great. And I'm just gonna unrecord this. This is me trying to do technology now. Have I pressed unrecord? I don't know.
No, you're still recording. I can see it. Oh, it's flashing.
I don't know. Oh, hang on. Stop recording.